Welcome you all. Now we are going to discuss the numerical on this chapter. First consider a Cockcroft Walton type voltage multiplier. It has 8 stages with all the capacitance value is equal to 0.05 microfarad and the supply voltage secondary side voltage is 125 kV at a frequency of 150 Hz and the load current which is supplied is 5 milliamperes. We are supposed to calculate percentage ripple regulation, the optimum number of the stages. So first consider the calculation of percentage ripple. We know the formula del V is equal to I by Fc into n plus 1 divided by 2. So the current which is there in the problem, that 5 milliamperes, frequency of 150 Hz, capacitance value is 0.05 microfarad. Number of stages is 8. So here total number of the stages is 8. In each stage we have the 2 capacitors. So n value will become 16. So that is nothing. Number of the stages is 8 into 2. So n is equal to 16 number of the capacitors. So substitute this value del V and what is the current I value, substitute capacitance and the frequency. Number of the stages is n is equal to 16. N plus 1 is 17 by 2. So you'll get 90.7 kV. So here we have to calculate the percentage ripple. The percentage ripple will become del V into 100 divided by n into Vmax. N into Vmax is nothing but number of the stages. So that is nothing but in each stage we have the 2 capacitors. That's what I told. It is n into 2. So we will get 16 Vmax. So we have del V is equal to 90.7 and 100 divided by 2 into 8 into 125. You will get 4.53 of the regulation. The ripple. Then we have calculation of the regulation. So we know that this is the derivation which we derived for Cockcroft Walton type circuit. Voltage drop will become delta V is equal to I by Fc. It's not 1, I by Fc in bracket 2 by 3 into n cube plus n square by 2 minus n by 6. So you have to remember here for the percentage ripple it is depending upon the capacitors. So the regulation is mainly depending upon the number of the stages. Don't get confused between this and this. So here substitute this value I and the frequency of 150 Hz. The capacitance value is of 0.05 microfarad and 2 by 3. N is nothing but 8 here. It's not 8 into 2. Understand? So percentage ripple mainly depending upon the capacitors, not the regulation. So 8 to the power of 3 plus half into 8 square, that's nothing but by 2. So this is nothing but half into 8 square minus 8 by 6. So you'll get 248 kV. Therefore the regulation will become the voltage, okay, that's nothing but voltage drop divided by 2n into Vmax. So that is nothing but the formula which is required to the formula which is required to do the calculation for the regulation. So what is the voltage drop you got? It is a 248 kV. So 2 into 8, Vmax value is 125 kV. That's nothing but the secondary voltage. So you will get, that's nothing but the 12.4%. This is the regulation. Then we have calculation of the optimum number of the stages. This is the formula which we derived. So n optimum is equal to in a root Vmax into Fc divided by I. So substitute this Vmax value. That's nothing, maximum output value of the voltage is 125 kV into a frequency and the capacitance value divided by the current. So you will get the 14 stages. This is the minimum number of the stages which is required for minimum voltage regulation. Next one we have a 100 kVA 400 bar 250 kV testing transformer. So this is the rating of the transformer, has 8% of the leakage reactance and 2% resistance on 100 kV base. So it is nothing but transformer itself has 8% reactance and 2% of the resistance. And we need to test that a cable has to be tested at 500 kV using the above transformer as a resonant transformer. So we are testing the cable which is having the rating of 500 kV. If the charging current of the cable at 500 kV is 0.4, it is meaning that So when we are testing the cable, the current which is flowing is of 0.4 amperes. So we need to calculate the series inductance required. So this is the thing which we need to calculate. And assuming that 2% resistance of the inductor to be used and the connecting lead, means it is nothing but connecting wires, it having a additional resistance of 2%. So what will happen? So this is the 2% for the connecting lead and the 2% this is for the resistance of the transformer. So neglecting dielectric losses of the cable, what will be the input voltage to the transformer? So these are all the things which we need to calculate. So let's consider that maximum current which is supplied by the transformer. So it is nothing, mainly depending upon the kVA and the voltage rating. So what is the rating of the transformer? It is 100 kVA divided by secondary side we are talking. This is nothing but 250 kV. So you'll get 0.4 amperes. So this is nothing but the same amount of the current which is flowing through a cable which we are testing. It is of 0.4. So this is nothing but XC, reactance of the cable. So what is the voltage which is flowing across the cable is 500 kV. Okay, and the current which is flowing is of 0.4. So I am talking on, this is with respect to the cable, 500 voltage, 500 kV divided by 0.4. This is nothing but 1250 kilo ohm. This is nothing but inductive reactance of the cable. Okay, this is, keep it aside. Then we have to calculate for leakage reactance of the transformer. So we know that percentage of leakage reactance into V by I. So this is nothing but, what is the percentage of the reactance we have? It is 8%. Okay, 8, that's why it is a percentage divided by 100 into what is the voltage? Secondary side voltage is 250 kV. So this is nothing but 250 kV, and the current which is flowing is of 0.4. This is what we got, 0.4. So here don't get confused. This is the 0.4 ampere which is flowing to the cable and 0.4 ampere which is flowing to the transformer. So here there is no doubt that these values are the same. Some numericals we may get that this is this 0.4 amperes and this transformer, the current which is flowing sometimes will not be the same. So it is nothing but 50 kilo ohm of the leakage reactance of the transformer. So this numeric is mainly depending upon as a resonant transformer. What do you mean by resonant transformer? This is nothing but XL is equal to XC. So this is the resonant transformer. So it is nothing but inductive reactance is equal to capacitive reactance. Then only there is a possibility of the energy will transfer maximum to the secondary side. So this is nothing but at resonance condition XL is equal to XCR, XC is equal to XL. So what is the additional reactance which is required? It is of 1250. X is equal to XL. So I can say it is XC minus XL. So 1250 minus 50 kilo ohm. So I will get 1200 kilo ohm, which is the additional reactance which is required. Then so inductance of the additional reactance. So this is nothing but, we know that it is in terms of inductive reactance. We have to calculate what is the inductance which is required. So we know that 2 pi FL. So substitute those values. Okay, 1200 kilo ohm divided by 2 pi F. So we'll get 3820. This is the required additional inductance. Okay, then only it will act like a resonant circuit. Then we have to calculate what is the total resistance. So total resistance is for 100 kV basis of 2%, which is there in the numerical, and also there is an 2% resistance for the inductor. Okay, means connecting lead. 2 plus 2 you will get 4%. It's not only 2%, 2% which is present because of the inductor which we are using. So this is nothing but the 4% total resistance. We need to calculate the ohmic values. So the same way how we calculated for this circuit here. So percentage of the value. Okay, so this is the 4%, and what is the voltage which is flowing to the secondary side is 250 kV and the current is 0.4. So we'll get the 25 kilo ohm. Then what is the excitation voltage? We know that the current into the resistance values. What is the current which is flowing is 0.4 and the resistance value is 25 kilo ohm. So you will get it is of 10 kV. So this is nothing but the excitation voltage. Don't get confused between it is E1, E2 and V1, V2. So excitation which is represented as E. The input voltage which is means input and output voltage, terminal voltage which is represented as V1 and the V2. So this is nothing but the excitation voltage on the secondary side. What is the current is flowing? It is of 0.4. It is already given here. 0.4 into resistance value is of 25. So this is nothing but 10 kV. Look at this. This is the 10 kV across the secondary side. Then the primary voltage we have to calculate. This is the E1. So we know that what is the voltage? It is mainly depending upon the value of the means the turns ratio. Okay. So we should know that how we are transferring from secondary side to the primary and the primary side to the secondary side. So what is that the secondary E2 is? It is a 10 into what is the primary voltage? This is nothing but 400 and secondary voltage is 250. So this is nothing but it is of N1 by N2, or I can say it's not N1 by N2, we can say it is a V1 by V2. Okay, this E1 is equal to E2 into V1 by V2. So you will get the 16 volts. This is the voltage required across the supply side. Then what is the input? So based on this we can rate it. This is nothing but V1. This is nothing but E1 by V1 into what is the rating? It is 100 kVA. So this is nothing but the 4 kilowatt. This is the input which is required for the transformer to test the cable. The next one, an impulse generator has 8 stages within each condenser. Condenser is nothing but capacitor rated for a 0.16 microfarad and 125 kV. Means each capacitor is rated of 0.16 microfarad. The voltage is of 125 kV. The load capacitor which is available is of a 1000 picofarad. Find the series resistance and the damping resistance needed to produce 1.2 bar 50 microsecond impulse wave. So what is the maximum output voltage of the generator if the charging voltage is 120 kV? So this is nothing but it is the numerical based on the impulse voltage generator. So there are different ways to solve this problem. We can consider this is one of the circuit. We have the 4 different circuit for generation of the impulse voltages. So in that I have picked a second one. This is a figure B. Okay. So this is the equivalent circuit. So what is the capacitance value? C1, which is of 0.16. It has 8 stages. So this is nothing but that is the total capacitance is of 0.16 divided by the n number of the stages. Okay, it's not directly at C1, it is a total capacitance. Okay, so 0.16 divided by 8, you will get 0.02 microfarad for each capacitors. And what is the load capacitance? Means load capacitance is of 1000 picofarad. We can write it as 0.001 microfarad. So T1 is nothing but time to front. They had given it is 1.2 microsecond. So we know the formula which is derived. This is the T1 is equal to 3 into R1 into C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So substitute these values. Okay, we have to calculate the R1 value. So okay, substitute this value C1, C2 and R1 value. You will get R1 is equal to 420 ohm. So similarly, time to fall. So T2 is equal to 0.7 into R1 plus R2 into C1 plus C2. So substitute these values R1. So we are supposed to calculate R1 and R2. So we got the value of the R1. So we have to calculate the R2 value. Substitute this value R1 and C1 in the C2 value. You will get R2 value 2981 ohm. So what is the DC charging voltage for 8 stages? Okay, it is of V is equal to 8 into 120. This is nothing but the 960 kilovolt. So how you got this is 120? Because this they have mentioned that what is the maximum output voltage of the generator if the charging voltage is 120 kV. Don't get confused between this 125 and the 120. So this is the DC charging voltage which is required is of 120 kV into number of stages is 8. So you will get 960 kV. We have to calculate what is the maximum output voltage. So this is the formula which is depending upon the circuit which we derived for A, B, C and D circuit. For the B circuit, so we will get V divided by R1 C2 into alpha minus beta in bracket e to the power of minus alpha t minus e to the power of beta t. Okay, so this is nothing but we have to calculate alpha beta values. So we know that from the derivation we know alpha value is equal to 1 by R1 C2, beta is equal to 1 by R2 C1. So V is nothing but the DC charging voltage, and substituting these values alpha, this is an R1 R1 C1 R2 C2, so you will get alpha and the beta values. Substitute these values in here, so you will get the maximum output voltage of 932.6 kV. Next one, a 12-stage impulse generator has 0.126 picofarad wave front and wave tail resistance connected is of 800 ohm and 5000 ohm respectively. So if the load condenser is 1000 picofarad, we need to calculate wave front and the wave tail time taken. So we know that the generator capacitance is of C1, which is given 12 stages. It's a 0.126. The number of stages is 12. So we'll get a 0.0105 microfarad. And the C2 value load condenser is of 1000 picofarad. So we'll get 0.01 microfarad. R1 and R2 values are given. It is 800 ohm and 5000 ohms. So we know the T1 formula and T2 formula. Substitute the T1 formula. So we'll get 3 into R1 into C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Substitute these values. So you will get 2.19 microfarad. This is the time to front. Similarly, tail time is nothing but T2 is equal to 0.7 into R1 plus R2 into Cn plus C2. Substitute these values R1, R2, C1, C2. You will get 46.7 microfarad. This is a way you need to calculate T1 and the T2 values. So next one, a Tesla coil has a primary winding rated for 10 kV and L1, L2 and the K values of 10 millihenry, 200 millihenry and 0.6 respectively. Find the peak value of the output voltage if the capacitance in the primary side is 2 microfarad and that on the secondary side is 1 nanofarad. Neglect the winding resistance. Find also the highest resonant frequency produced at the rated applied voltage. So you need to recall what are the formula which is required to solve this numerical for the Tesla coil. So from that we know M is equal to K input of L1 L2. So substitute this value L1 and L2. L1 is nothing but 10 millihenry, L2 is the 200 millihenry. 10 into 200 you will get 2000. K value is 0.6, you will get 26.82 millihenry. And also we know that omega 1 is equal to 1 by root of L1 C1. So substitute this value L1 and the C1 value. L1 is of 10 millihenry and C1 which is of 2 microfarad. Okay, substitute this value. Omega 1 is equal, we will get 7.07 to the power of 3 radian per second. Similarly, that sigma value which is derived from the Tesla coil, that is equal to in root of 1 minus k square. So substitute this value k square, just in the k value 0.6 square of that value. So we will get 0.8. So similarly, omega 2 is equal to 1 by root of L2 C2. So substitute this value L2 and the C2 value. You will get 7.07 10 to the power 4 radian per second. And so we know that the gamma 2 square, gamma 1 and gamma 2. So gamma 1 either you can use it for plus and the gamma 2 is which can for minus, or similar any of the way we can use it. Gamma 2 square is equal to omega 1 square plus omega 2 square by 2 plus root of in bracket omega 1 square plus 2 square by 2. So minus sigma square omega 1 square omega 2 square. So similarly for gamma 1 square will become in place of plus, this will become minus. So substitute these values omega 1 omega 2, okay, sigma values, all those things, you will get gamma 1 and the gamma 2 values. From this, so we have to calculate what is the highest frequency which is produced. That's not the gamma 2 divided by 2 pi value. So you will get 11.27 kilohertz. This is the highest frequency which is produced by the Tesla coil. Then we need to calculate what is the peak output voltage. So from that we know V2 is equal to V into M divided by sigma into L1 L2 into C2 into 1 by gamma 2 square minus gamma 1 square. So substitute these values, you will get the peak output voltage of 33.61 kV. But we need to remember that this is the turns ratio. So here, because this is subject to the inductance L2 by L1 in road, this is nothing but you will get what is the inductance value, 200 millihenry divided by 10 millihenry, you will get 4.47. Hence the output peak cannot be the more than the 44.7 kV. So this is how you need to solve the numerical based on the Tesla coil. Thank you everyone for listening.